Does that look familiar, people? Does that look familiar? Bloody ridiculous. People, welcome to another edition of that thing that's happening frenzy that we all know and love. It's WWE SuperCard. With me, Big Jim, and no Ninja Boy, because he's off at school doing that learning thing. Now then, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I've got a Survivor King of the Ring reward to pick up. It is a Survivor card. I also want to just show something that happened during the course of the final. This happened to me before. Could be me being a complete klutz. Could be a glitch. Not sure. Be interested to find out how you guys have got on. Then, of course, we've got a new Road to Glory, which is pretty pants as far as I'm concerned, because there's nothing out of it that I can get as a pro. The Shawnee Michaels Survivor card, be nice to have to add to the Survivor stable, but it's another single. The Rock, yes, I could get a pro out of the Rock, and I'll be honest, I'm glad it's not PCC, because with all these hospital visits I've been doing for the past month now, having to see my mum in hospital every other day, and as I mentioned before, it's 50 miles outside of London, so it's not just a quick trip round the corner. So doing a PCC right now just not going to happen. So I'm pleased that it's something that I feel I can cough. Anyway, enough of the waffle. Let's get on with the action. Now, let's have a look at this Survivor King of the Ring. I warn you now, the network errors have been doing my nutting. They've been doing my noggin in. There's just so many network errors. So if we get pauses and things going on, I'm not even going to apologise because it's not my fault. It's Cat Daddy's fault. There just do seem to be an awful lot more network errors knocking around right now. But what I was going to say was the King of the Ring, just 3 human beings in this King of the Ring. If you go into the contenders bracket, those 3 human beings were myself, Sebastian, who I beat in one semi-final, and then Crush, who won the other semi-final. So we had a little bit of a chat, a bit of a hello session. So hello guys, and thanks for your competition and your companionship during this King of the Ring. Now, we got to the final, myself and Crush, and he said he boosted up for the first leg, and he'd got every event card going. I'm missing a couple. He's got every event card going. So a strong likelihood was he was going to win anyway. But he very kindly posted a message saying he wasn't going to power up for the remaining 2 matches because he didn't need the legendary card with the powerful deck that he got. But what I wanted to mention was that in this second match, it came to the tag team, and as you can see, I've got an incompatible tag team then. And why on earth would I do that? Why have I got 2 Survivor cards that are incompatible? Well, they weren't the tag team in the first match. All I can imagine is that has happened is when I've been powering up, you drag your energies across into your cards. I must have somehow inadvertently also dragged Triple H into the tag team and swapped out the Kane card that was there. So fortunately it didn't cost me in that particular matchup, but that's just something worth keeping your eye on. It's a bit like in the Season 1 King of the Rings, where you'd swap your players around and then, unbeknown to you, you'd skip out and there'd have been a little waiting on a network error going on, and you'd go back in a bit later and only half of your squad had moved in, and so you left 2 people in who were then completely drained of energy, and the whole thing fell apart. So this is basically, we should know by now that this game carries its glitches, and this is one of those things where you just got to pay a bit of extra care and attention when you're doing things. Anyway, I did actually lose that 3-2, so kind as Crush was to say he was going to step aside, he had such a strong deck, he still beat me in that second game. Anyway, let's have a look and see what reward I can get. Now, I'm looking, hopefully, for another Pro Diva. I've got my Sasha. Sasha's now fully powered up, so I've got my first Survivor Diva Pro. So I'm really pleased with her. Now, I do have Charlotte as an individual and I have Bailey as an individual. Now, failing getting one of those 2, I had quite a few individual Survivor cards, so obviously something that we can pro. It's all about making pros right now. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Claim reward. Come on. Squeaky brakes outside. Someone being run over. That's good. Always good for sound effects outside. Come on. Now, it wouldn't be a proper edition of WWE SuperCard without something crashing or failing or network erroring or everything else that happens to us while we're doing these. Now, just at the moment when I was collecting this reward, hoping for a Diva, something I can pro, what happened? The software crashed. Now, I've managed to get things up and running again. As you can see, the King of the Ring reward is still there, and he's still burning in fiery goodness there. It's Ultimate Warrior, and that does make a pro, so that is something good. I'm afraid just been robbed of my reaction, but I'm very pleased with that. The important thing here was getting either a Diva I could pro or another star that I could pro. That's proable, so that's good. And also, after all those rare cards, a Ring Domination, at least this is something that is going to take a bit more powering up. Having said that, I've got about 50 legendary cards I could chuck into it. But anyway, that's good news. That is good news. And there he is, Ultimate Warrior, coming out to play with BLD. So, that being done, let's have a look at my exhibition deck, which is on Survivor ++. Oh, this is a joke. This is an absolute joke. It's crashed 4 times. Network error. You know what, man? There comes a time with this game when you just had enough, you know? We've got Road to Glory coming up tomorrow. There's an awful lot of network errors going on last weekend. I'm almost getting to the point now where I just can't be bothered with this anymore. This is just getting ridiculous. It's like trying to do a video now. You realised how many takes we have to do because we have to keep rebooting things because of network errors all the time. This is just getting beyond a joke. Seriously getting beyond a joke. I'm a bit miffed. You might have picked up on the fact I'm a bit miffed. So here we go again. I'm back into the game properly. At least give me an excuse to have to edit it at least 17 times over, trying to put all these clips together. Anyway, as you saw, that's given me now another pro. While I'm actually just down here, let's go on to Team Chat. Team Chat, there's everyone talking about the Road to Glory cards. Actually, just have a look at our team deck. Our team, I don't know what progress your teams have made and where you are in terms of whether you're in one of the top teams and you're like gunning for the big rewards that are coming out, or whether you're just in a team where you're happy to grind along and do your own thing. Team BadLadDad, BLD Army, very happy little bunch. And it's been nice to see that we were at all different tiers when we started. It's nice to see how being in a team seems to have just sort of boosted some of the players who hadn't been able to give that much time to the game. They've really got involved in it and done extremely well. Now, Team Deck at the moment, if we just go on, I'm probably going to be denied the chance to use this fella here, Macho Man, because by the time we get a team event, I'm probably going to have The Rock in place. The Rock's going to be right here. So, Macho Man's been denied the chance to get involved. But as you can see, I've got my Sasha Banks, who's now fully maxed out. And if you just scroll down the rest of the team, as I mentioned, people at different levels. What we could dearly do with is some of these divas to get boosted. Now, there's 2 things that raises, really. Firstly, with regard to the team events, why is it taking so long to get these team events? They introduce team events, and then nothing appears to happen. And then we're all sitting around, and they launch one like a minute's notice that catches everyone on the hop, and then nothing again. We get talk of a new team event coming out, and everyone like gets geared up for it, and it's not happening. Well, where's the plan? What was the plan? What was the thinking behind this? Either launch it and let's do it properly, or hold it back until you've got things working, like you've ever done that before, and we'll pick it up from there. So, not really been very impressed with the way that this has all been sort of farmed out to us. But the second thing is, I've mentioned how divas here we could do with people building up their diva squads. What's going on with divas? There's just no divas anymore in these events. Now, I can understand in Ring Domination, someone seems to have made a policy decision that there's no divas involved. You can only use your male stars in your Ring Domination deck. And as a result, none of the cards that have been on offer that you've been unveiling in Ring Domination have been divas. Now, I kind of get that in as much as if you've only got male stars, you're trying to earn male rewards. Still not right, though. You know, you could have divas. Why can't you have a diva as a reward? Who says you can't have a diva as a reward? But these are Road to Glories. How come we haven't had like a Survivor Diva chucked in there? Well, it's just give us a few more divas. Now, I can guess there's one kind of answer. If you're trying to be diplomatic, and if I was working for the company that produces this game, and I had someone come to me saying, how come it's so difficult to get divas? I'd say, well, that's what makes the game sort of unpredictable. You've got to have one area that's unpredictable so that not everyone's got the same cards. But I really get the feeling that the divas are just being snubbed. Now, okay, we might have got a bit fed up with all of the team events that the divas are getting involved in through 2014. I'm talking about the real divas now. But the diva cards, of course people want them. And of course people are excited by them. And I just think they should be available more freely. And on that note, the throwback packs and the throwback cards, great to see that they're about. Great to see they're available within the game. But in these games which are, so say, free to sign up and play for, really, if you're a free player, i.e. someone who doesn't spend any money, you should be able to have access to things that people who are prepared to pay cash have got access to. Now, I'm not saying you should be able to get everything, but throwback cards, you can't get anything unless you pay some real money for it. Now, that's not right in my book either. Most games, you'll be able to get something involving a particular subject, but yes, you might be able to buy something a bit extra special within that subject if you're using real cash. But in these throwback cards, you can't get them in the game unless you spend any money. I don't think that's right. It's just my personal opinion. That's how I feel. And also, if they're going to make a game that keeps blooming pausing and freezing because of network errors, it gives me more opportunity to start venting my spleen about things like this. And even while I've been talking here now, I'm not even going to bother picking up my iPad because I can see... Actually, I'm just going to hold it up for you because it's not showing on screen. Does that look familiar, people? Does that look familiar? Bloody ridiculous. It's absolutely bloody ridiculous. Right. Am I going to do some exhibition? I think I should. I should at least try. But I'm just going to have to go away again, try and make this work, and then come back to you. Right, people. I almost didn't come back. I had 2 more lots of network errors. I'm finally up and running again. And as you can see on the combinable, this is the good news. This is the good news. In this not very feel-good story. Here's my Ultimate Warrior, the previous one that I had, and I'm pleased to say I have maxed out all his stats. So he's good to go, which means I've just got the one, which is the one we've picked up today to work on. So that's good news. He's easily going to power up, and I'll whack him into my Exhibition deck. Now at the moment, I do have, it's on Survivor Plus Plus. Anyway, so I've obviously been working on him. These other guys, they're all fully maxed out. Sasha's done and everything. So I suppose I could put Ultimate Warrior in place of Macho Man and then carry on working on Ultimate Warrior and The Rock in conjunction with each other, which is probably what I shall do. So I'm going to do that now. So here we are. As you can see, what I've got now is Warrior in place of Macho Man. Oh yeah! And that has taken me down to Survivor Plus level, but I think we can survive at Survivor Plus level, just for the time being. We can slum it in Survivor Plus level. So I can carry on working on The Rock, and I can start working on Ultimate Warrior here. But one thing I am just going to do, any of you who've been following us for any space of time will know that the Warrior has been my avatar since virtually day one of playing Season 1. And this card, this particular image was my avatar during Season 1, so I've stuck with it during Season 2, transferred it over. So, obviously got to use it on my Survivor card. So we'll use it on this card for now. And one little tip that I have mentioned before, when you've got 2 cards that need combining, it's quite useful to give them both different pictures so that you can remember at what stage you are with each individual card without having to keep trying to swap between the 2 and go, is that the first one I looked at? Or, oh no, was this one I just looked at? When they've got different pictures, you know which one you've just looked at. So, having said all of that, let's get on, finally, with a bit of action. And just do a little bit of chiselling, just to try and calm down, relax a little bit more, because it's been a bit of a stressful session, this, hasn't it? And to even run the game for like more than 3 minutes with no network errors is just, it's like just releasing yourself. Like I feel like a newborn foal running through the forest, leaping around, just found my legs, found my feet. Or a gamer who's finally got a game to work. Right, so we shall move in with Sashar. Now, I've had my little rant about no divas being available. I've had my little rant about the network errors which are driving me potty. In fact, it's given me an idea. It's given me an idea for perhaps a little video short. Something I might come up with. It's given me a very good idea. I'll come back to you on that one. Keep your eye open on Twitter. Something to do with network errors. Just had little ideas just forming in this big gargantuanly waste of space that I call a brain up there. Might as well use the new guys. As I've said before, I had someone came onto the YouTube pages the other day. I was like, I've got a much better win-loss record than you. And I was like, well, good for you. As I've said many a time before, one, the record doesn't really matter anyway. But two, to speed your cards, speed up the development of your cards when you're feeding your cards up, you've got to be prepared to take a few hits. Because far better to use, let's just choose an opponent here. Far better to use a card that needs powering up in a battle and get him powered up as quickly as possible than use one of your standard cards, like Diva Charisma, that it's not really going to progress anything. So, because this isn't about winning these exhibition matches right now, it's about powering up these guys. So we're going to do a tag team charisma. It's a shame that wasn't 2 stats. If that had been a 2-statter, that would have been a perfect example of what I was just about to go on about, which was you're using these matches to power up your card. Well, that's left me free to hopefully come in and win this anyway, so I'll get some rewards. I probably didn't explain that very well because it was just a sort of stream of consciousness type thing going on in my head. I just got reminded of the fact that a few people seem so obsessed with their win-loss records, which that's fine if that's your thing. I mean, it doesn't win you anything, does it? I guess it gives you some bragging rights if the person that you're mentioning it to actually cares about their own win-loss record. So what I tend to try and do is keep the single matches. I'll use my existing cards, but when you get doubles, like this perfect example, power toughness, well, let's use the Rock. Now, you know he's going to lose because he's nowhere near powered up yet, but that's 2 more stats ticked off the list, and that's perfect, so we'll chuck the Warrior in. Now again, I know I'm going to lose, so that means I'm going to lose the match 2-1, having won the first round, but I'm not worrying about that. All I'm worrying about is powering up these cards. Get it done. So we'll just, I was going to say we'll just go into this deck reset. Oh, I got a rare card. That's such a rare thing to get, such a rare card. Right. Let's try Paddy. And Ninja Boy, I'm safe in saying that there's nothing available in Road to Glory that's going to give him a pro either. So that was pretty flat news for the two of us when we saw the cards that were available. But you know, can't have everything, and I do have my Ultimate Warrior to work on now, so I'm pleased with that. That'll do me for now. Solo match, we'll use the Rock. And what I shall also do, I tend to, people ask, what tips have you got for King of the Ring? All I can say is from my own experience, I prefer to enter fairly late in the evening. What you've got to bear in mind is, these with 15 matches per section, or 15 opponents, so 45 matches, separated by an hour. If you're starting a King of the Ring midnight, it means that you'll be hitting the knockout stages in 2 days' time at 9 o'clock in the evening. You basically got to add on 45 hours. So if you're thinking that you can play fully at 9 o'clock in the evening, and then think ahead, because if you get, say, just 2 matches in the quarterfinals, 2 in the semi-finals and 2 in the final,
you're then playing for another 6 hours. So that's going to take you through to 3 o'clock in the morning. You've got to think about whether you're still going to be up, awake, and able to do that. Now, for me, I know that's a possibility. So the later I play in the evening, you tend to find fewer human beings involved and far more bots, which at the level I'm at now is good news, because you can beat the bots. It's just how strong and how many event cards the humans are. And as witnessed in the... I'm saying this now, I don't know how much footage has been recuperated from the start of this video, but hopefully, as you'll have seen from the start of this video, the opponents that I had in my Survivor King of the Ring that we've just collected Warrior from, both had good sets of cards, but the guy who eventually won it had every card going. So with me, who's missed a couple of PCCs, I was always going to struggle. But when you've only got 3 humans in anyway, you've got a good chance of getting to that final, because it's all about getting the Survivor card. No one really cares about the Legendary card. It's all about the Survivor card. What would actually be more useful for me would be if the Legendary card that you pick up in the final was a support card, because I'm just not getting these support cards still. Network error, and it's gone. Okay, I'm taking that as a hint to give up. Not perhaps to give up on the game entirely, not perhaps to give up on making videos entirely, but it's getting to the point where I'm almost going to have to think about, is this worth pursuing with? I do love this game, certainly love what we're doing as a community, but these network errors are just getting ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. It's not enjoyable to do this, seriously not enjoyable. The days where you sit down and you can talk for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. We used to do videos for an hour long and quite happily playing the game in the background. Those days seem to be gone. I'm constantly having to go in and re-edit things 5 or 6 times over just to take out all the breaks where the network errors have cropped in. And that's not enjoyable. And me talking about it now, I'm sure isn't enjoyable for you guys either. So something needs to change. As Australians once said, something better change.